Okay, I get it. At some point, you've thought of getting a phone that does this and thinking whether it's the right time to make a switch. Well, I'm going to give you a couple of reasons that might help you make that decision. And starting with size, and it's the first thing that you're going to absolutely fall in love with. And I don't believe that I'm saying this, but in this case, smaller is better. I mean, don't get me wrong, a flip phone can totally still deliver on the big screen experience, and in fact, a bigger screen experience while still only taking up half the space in your pocket compared to a regular phone, or your bag, or your car, or again your car, or your other pocket, or pretty much anywhere. Look, more than anything, you keep your phone with you, whether it's in your hand or whether it's in your pocket. And so the impact of size is so underrated, yet it's so real. Look, with bigger regular bar phones, you're like used to the size and you think, hey, what's the big deal? But it's only when you switch to a more convenient size and you're like, oh my God, that's when you realize. Next is usability, and you can do things on a flip phone that you just can't do on a regular bar phone. Firstly, you're faster and more efficient. So you get a text, you respond, and you're done. Get an email, check if it's important, done. Check what's next on your agenda, keep it right back. Got an incoming call, pick it up, speak, and disconnect once you're done. I mean, you don't really have to get into your phone to do things and then get distracted. And then open Instagram, start watching reels, sending memes to your friends. You get the idea. And all of this is possible because you've got this second screen on top of the phone, which is the cover screen. It kind of lets you do things that make sense. You know, like checking the weather real quick, setting up an instant timer, quickly making a phone call. Now, I'm not saying watch movies or YouTube videos on this screen. Sure, it's capable, but then some things are just better on a larger display. Secondly, it lets you watch content or read stuff when, let's say, you're eating. But on a bar phone, you need special accessories that cost money, and they make your phone quite thick and heavy. Video calls, they don't handicap you because, well, you don't have to hold your phone now. You could still be working and quite easily still be taking on a video call. And here's the thing, you don't always have to glance as you would on a regular flat bar phone. With the Flip, it's as natural as just keeping it next to you and being able to glance for notifications or messages. And even apps are very well optimized in this flex mode. Like in the calendar, dates are at the top and events at the bottom. In the phone dialer, the dialer moves below. And YouTube, well, content right here and all controls laid out beautifully here. It's just amazing. And third, if you're creating content, this is as good as it gets. You could literally create 4K quality content from the main camera with a real-time preview monitor right in front of you.
Alright, so guys, I'm shooting this video using the primary camera, but as a selfie video. So it's really good quality because it's shooting using the primary lens and not the selfie camera. Now if you pick up any regular traditional phone, that can't do that. It's going to use the front-facing camera, which obviously is not as great in quality as this is. So yeah, I really like the fact that you can take super high quality 4K videos, selfie format, as you can in this.
I mean, seriously, it doesn't get any better. But then with a regular bar phone, well, you can attempt to shoot a 4K video using the back camera, but you really can't be sure whether you shot it right, and then maybe you're in for a disappointment. And so yeah, it's just the whole form factor that lends itself in ways that you end up using it every day. And once you get used to that, the bar phone sort of feels quite limiting. Now, third, cameras. And when it comes to phones that flip or fold, it's not so much about the cameras themselves, but the way you use it in. Look, I already talked about the fact that you can create high quality 4K videos while being able to see yourself, so I'm not going to talk about that. But you can take phenomenally high quality selfies using this phone. So here are selfies taken on the iPhone 15 Pro and on the Flip 5. And personally, I prefer the warmer tone on the Flip 5 compared to the colder magenta tone on the iPhone 15 Pro. But when you zoom in, that's when you can truly see the details in the facial hair captured by the Flip 5 just because it is able to click that using the primary camera. And here are some more pictures to give you an idea. I mean, despite iPhone 15 Pro being a much more expensive and being a more recent phone, the Flip 5 is giving it very stiff competition. But iPhone really can't compete in the details when it comes to selfies. The primary camera on the Flip 5 just has more definition for sure. Also, you can turn on preview when you're taking someone else's picture, but with a bar phone. And when it comes to normal pictures or, daytime or even outdoors, an equally priced regular phone might be able to perform better in certain situations, but on an average, the difference is either none or too minor to even worry about. And in this case, it seriously boils down to personal preference. For example, I prefer the warmer, greener tones on the Flip 5, but someone might still prefer the natural tones, like on the iPhone 15 Pro. But all in all, very equally competent. But of course, there are also drawbacks to something like this, which has a giant cover screen, which is a phone that folds or flips into half, is that there isn't enough space for them to fit in any kind of zoom lens. So that's the one thing that you do end up compromising on. But if you don't use zoom as often, you might be okay. And speaking of challenges with the flip phone, I think there are quite a few that I think I would like to address. First, many questions have come up about the durability of a phone that flips or folds. And sure, there's just so many moving parts as compared to a regular bar phone that these guys are not as durable as regular bar phones. But again, guys, it's been 4 years. Technology has evolved. These guys have evolved a lot. They are more durable now. They've been tested for about 2 lakh flips or folds, and it is IPX8 water resistant. They're still not dust resistant, so definitely durability is a little on the lower side, but it's so much better now. Second, and sure, it definitely feels delicate. But then which premium flagship product does not feel delicate? You'd think this does not feel delicate? And if that was the case, then why does the entire world put on cases or accessories of different kinds to protect the display or the back glass? And honestly, there are plenty accessories and protective cases that now come for a phone like this. For example, I've got this very strong, light and thin protective case made of Kevlar, so the accessories market is definitely improving for flip phones. Okay, that crease, well, it is there, but then you get used to it really quickly, almost like you ignore it then. First of all, you never feel it because you don't really scroll from the center of the screen. It's always like a little lower. And secondly, it does reflect only when you have like a window or some source of light coming from the side. That's when you actually notice it. Otherwise, it's almost never there. And fourth, let's talk about battery and charging. And sure, it's a phone that needs to, fold itself and still not be very thick, so the battery capacity is not as high. But I've heard a lot of these myths about this phone heating up too much. Let me be very honest. I've got the iPhone 15 Pro here, and this heats up a lot more when I'm charging and when I'm using the camera. A lot more than this phone. So I don't know what the fuss is about. This does not heat up as much. Look guys, a foldable phone is a major shift in the way you feel and experience a phone, and that's exactly what I've tried to demonstrate throughout this video. This basically takes a regular phone and then crams all the power and functionality that you have in this regular bar phone into a small form factor, which is, come to think of it, very convenient and flexible. And then it achieves all of this with very few compromises, and those compromises are really not deal breakers for majority of the users for the majority of the things that they do on their phone. And so the big question, should you switch from a bar phone to a phone that flips or folds? Well, the timing couldn't be any better. These phones are now self-sufficient. They're actually more capable. They offer more flexibility, more convenience. So yeah, I totally think it's the right time to make that switch. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, anything that concerns or creates a worry in you, ask me in the comments section and I'll definitely help you guys out. And if you guys enjoyed watching the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel guys, hit that bell notification icon and mark all. Really helps the channel grow. I'll see you guys in the next one.